we never learned, Homo sapiens never learned in any appreciable way how to love each other better, get along with each other better, share the bounty of the earth better, all of that. I mean, none of that was successful for Homo sapiens. Okay, Homo sapiens seemed to have achieved just one thing with this egoic, brilliant mind, the ability to create a web of communication that was by far the highest achievement of that species. Okay, so that, using that accomplishment, which we're using right now, and I'm sure this particular technology will just continue to increase, where we have the ability to communicate instantaneously at no cost. So it's kind of like, the idea of free energy, so we have free communication, and very soon we'll have free energy. Okay, so the idea that we as a species, as communicators, I mean, that's clearly the thing that we were designed to do best, was communicate with each other so that we could collectively receive this big download that's in the process of moving into the world. I mean, it's not going to be like I don't think a certain moment, but I think it's voices like mine that will continue, Zach Bush, continue to speak about the glory of Earth, the glory of our humanity, the glory that we are to rebel against what is. Okay, what is a completion of this evolutionary cycle of the tribal and egoic mind, the completion of it, the ending of it, the dissolution of those magnificent forms, so that this new earth might, in a very gentle, beautiful, peaceful way, just flower. It's not going to come from a fight. They're going to fight. When they're done fighting, when the dust settles, I'm here, we're here. I mean, we're already doing the work. I mean, we're gathering, we're preparing, we're holding each other as the world goes crazy. We need to hold each other with this very calm knowing what is happening is beautiful, beyond comprehension. What we are seeing, what I see now, but hopefully you will see, many others will see, as things continue to unfold, we will see the germination, okay? The germination of this new earth. The seeds, like I say, were planted in the 1960s, and now they're germinating. Some seeds, I work with plants all the time. Some seeds take weeks and months and whatever. In this case, because these are big seeds about a whole new species, 50 years. 50 years of germination. Now they flower. So the thing that I want you to hear, and again, I refer you back to Zach Bush, but what he talks about in his beautiful soliloquy is a hopeful message, okay? But he still kind of speaks to the problem. Zeitgeist, the same thing, the problem. It's like, what happened with the people that lost paradise, okay? Paradise was never lost. For me, I've been holding it in my heart, holding it in my consciousness, always. I didn't get involved directly in the 1960s protests and all that, but I was there to start receiving the download that was coming in between 1967 and middle of the 1970s. This was the download that was coming in. I speak of referring to, of course, Miracles and the different teachers that were coming forward in this time. There was a beautiful, like all of the best energy of the world kind of coalesced. Many of it moved with individuals to North America, where it would just, again, go into hibernation, this period, 50 years of incubating, right? Talk about this whole thing, preparation, incubation, illumination, and expression. So We are now in this process of the very last part of this incubation period, where points of light like myself and others will start sharing the illumination, sharing that the time is now. And we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are now the elders that will lead this quiet revolution while the rest of them are fighting. We get to lead a quiet revolution that says, hold steady. Just hold each other, hold the dream. It's becoming a reality. But this all has to happen first. This stuff, it's like the dissolution of the old forms is a necessity. This is what Durkheim talks about. Zones of annihilation, okay? If we think about with our species, the evolution of our species, we've had several in the past 100, 150 years. We've had a number of zones of annihilation where it would appear like, oh, a world war, oh, a world, whatever, the crash of economies, the whatever, just zones of annihilation that nationalism, capitalism, these really big, strong structures need to fully implode. Imperialism. This is stuff that's been dominating our species for the past several thousand years. And now it's over. Okay, so we want to see it come to a beautiful crescendo, crazy crescendo. I mean, you would anticipate, okay, in sort of world politics, you would anticipate a nuclear war between China and USA. That would be, I would expect that would be like, well, that would be probably a very necessary, a very good thing. Okay. I was trying to get back to several months ago, I'd seen a thing from Celeste Solom. I can't recover I wrote to her asking her to describe again the 4 stages of this process, because they had it all kind of mapped out with FEMA and all that. They knew the stages, BERN, and I can't remember now, but we're in the B now, the biological. Okay, so this thing was the whole, bioweapon was, it's all this scenario that's going to play out. Okay, so now this bioweapon that was built in a lab in Wuhan, China, is being released, and this whole thing is about the economic collapse. Okay, biological, economic, but then the last 2 are it's like radiation or nuclear. I'm not sure if those are R and N, but anyway, in the scenario there would be a nuclear event that you would expect it to be between China and USA, and then it's over. It's like, wow. There's no more USA, there's no more China, there's no more Russia, there's no more countries. Remember the dream, okay? Moving into by 2032, there cannot be any more countries, any more governments, any more religions, any more private ownership of property. All those things that John Lennon spoke to in the song Imagine. This is intended to become the new reality because it makes sense. It makes total sense. I mean, I get it that no personal ownership of property, that we all live in community, we all share the resources, the abundance of the world. That makes total sense to me. I would always say the biggest problem in the world was simply the personal ownership of property. The idea that somebody could own land, somebody could own buildings, somebody could own this. And so now you have this creepy little idea coming to this very creepy crescendo where a few own everything. They own it all. That's kind of the idea of the New World Order, that there'll be this collection of a dozen or so people, individuals that now own the world. They own all the land, they own all the buildings, they own everything. And game over. Now what do you do? Okay, so the idea that has to implode. That has to be like, that was crazy. There'll be this big fight about, okay, how are we going to move forward? There has to be a better way. And I don't know if anybody yet can see fully the better way. I think Peter Joseph with Zeitgeist had some pretty good ideas about it, but who would be sort of managing? Who would be the the manager of this one world, we wouldn't call it any longer a government. Again, it's not my personal ambition to try to figure that out or even fully imagine it, but I imagine it to the point that I'm creating it here in a very small way in the OASIS Center for Conscious Living and outside of Cuenca, Ecuador, that you have intentional community. And this has been done many, many times in the past, usually around some kind of religious or eco-political agenda. But the idea is very solid. This is even back in the 1960s. There was so much of a real push for communes and all of that. So this idea of communism in a good way is truly the future of our species, okay? So, yeah, I feel like that's probably enough for today, but I really want to just emphasize again, with all of the talk about, the catastrophic, the apocalyptic, events that are happening and will continue to happen, that it's so important for those of you who have ears to hear, eyes to see, that we need to hold on to the pristine glory of truth, of beauty, of love, because these divine principles are not going to be affected at all. No worldly events ever affect reality, okay? The world, as you might see it, is not reality. Reality is what I'm speaking about. Reality is what is informing us. Reality is what is assuring us that what is real cannot be threatened. Okay, the perfect opening to A Course in Miracles. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. So what's playing out in the world, in the space-time world, is a necessary evil, but again, remember, it's all angelic in the sense that it's moving forward this much bigger agenda, bigger than any human agenda could ever imagine. It's simply called evolution, and we are evolving into something new. And if you become a member of this new species with me, Sun King, not me, Louis, Sun King, as you become a member of this new species, as you willingly accept and appreciate and bring enthusiasm to what we're doing, building a new earth, the rest of it is fine. It's acceptable. It has to be, remember, it has to be acceptable. And if you're really with it, you'll be like grateful. Thank you, Bill Gates. Thank you, George Soros. Thank you, Wuhan, China. Thank you, those of you that are helping bring down the beast, okay? That this new, very beautiful human will emerge, okay? Very important to remember what is true, to hold to what is beautiful. Come down here and spend time with me. I guarantee you every day, I'm surrounded by beauty. I'm surrounded by peace. I'm surrounded by tranquility and beauty and harmony and love and all of these things. It's possible to live in that environment because, again, what we want to do as powerful manifestors is manifest the world around us that is in alignment with our truth. Our truth becomes our manifested truth. So